Hi, my name is Marianna. My teammate Dalton and I worked with the Dahlem Nature Center to help the blind see in nature. How many of you can identify this tree? As I'd imagined, most of us, unless accompanied by one of Dahlem's naturalists, would walk by this tree as blindly as a blind person would. What we realized during this project is blindness is much less about the sight, or the sense of sight, than it is about understanding and appreciating our surroundings. With this in mind, we developed the Breadcrumbs app. The Breadcrumbs app connects to small, weatherproof beacons that are sprinkled along the trail like breadcrumbs. These beacons send audio messages to the app that can share two types of information with the users. First, they can send navigational instructions to a blind person. So it might tell the blind person that the trail slopes to the right or it turns into a boardwalk, helping them comfortably and independently navigate the trails. The second type of information is contextual information. So for example, we might place a beacon at the base of that hackberry tree, advising the user to touch the rough, warty bark of the tree or reach for its droopy fruit. Our goal with the Breadcrumbs app is not only to make the Dahlem Trail system more accessible to the blind, but also to enrich all of our experiences at Dahlem. Thank you.
I really like this project. I like the fact that it could be expanded. A lot of the information would be useful for sighted visitors as well. You incorporate so many different senses, and that's all great. My only comment would be, as we talked about, I'd reconsider the name because to me, breadcrumbs evoke the Hansel and Gretel story, and they laid the breadcrumbs and the birds ate them and they got lost. So it's sort of the opposite, I think, of what you're intending. But I really like the project.
I didn't even think about that. But on the name, yeah, didn't they get like eaten by a witch or something at the end too? Like that, I don't think that ended well. But I like this a lot because selfishly, I mean, I can see this notion being spread to many other applications. And sort of selfishly, as a guy who's literally going to be hiring a person to do stuff like this for me for the city of Detroit, you can imagine these type of centers being very useful in a lot of other contexts. When thinking with people with disabilities, for example, like how do we make our crosswalks more accessible and things like that, and as well as our city's points of interest. So I really like that. The weatherization piece was my question that I didn't get to ask you previously, and like, so that's, I'm glad to see that you all are thinking about that. And just my only question on sustainability would be just around like what it actually takes to maintain these, in terms of this realities of like their battery life, their range, their reliability, et cetera. But I love the concept and the prototype.
I was really encouraged when I saw this because it was nice to talk about how this type of nature trail would be set up in terms of the blind going through it, picturing the cane, picturing the texture of the ground, picturing how they could maneuver, but with this type of interactive piece where you're getting the understanding that there's going to be a turn coming up or that the surface is going to change to a boardwalk, taking away that fear of what that next step is in front of you is huge, because that now gives them the confidence because they're listening to those directions and they're hearing them and they're able to enjoy and be outside and take this nature trail and hear the sounds and feel the sun and feel the wind and hear the rustling of the leaves. That's just community engagement. That's people connecting with nature within your own city. I like the fact that this could be expandable to multiple parks. It's not just one. It can be to several others. One item I had suggested is maybe to have the user feedback as they're going along the trail to provide almost a talking experience of what they experience as they go from start to finish. Did I hear a cardinal? Did I hear a robin? Did I hear a blue jay? Do I hear something, rustling leaves? What was the sensation when I felt that hackberry tree? What was it? What experience did I draw from it? I mean, that's going to help build user support. That's going to help build a storyboard of how this has taken place and how this has really impacted the community.